One time, I was out with my friends, including someone I'll call Cassie. I needed to use the bathroom, so we found a public restroom in the woods that looked abandoned. I hesitated to go in because it felt creepy, but Cassie noticed me turning back and said, "Would you prefer the porta potty? I'd rather die than use one of those." Reluctantly, we both entered the restroom. The place was awful, trash everywhere, bugs crawling on the walls, and an unbearable stench that made us cover our noses. We cautiously approached the stalls and each picked one. My stall was relatively clean-looking, but the smell was still terrible. I didn't dare sit on the toilet, so I squatted to do my business. When we finished, we went to wash our hands but hesitated again because the sinks were just as filthy. One sink was stained black, and the faucet was covered in mildew. Thankfully, I found some hand sanitizer in my bag. As we used it, we suddenly heard the bathroom door shut. We ran to the door and tried to open it, but it was locked. We shouted for our friends, but they couldn't hear us. Cassie began to panic, and I tried to calm her down. Moments later, she said she felt sick and ran back to the stalls. I heard a stall door creak open, followed by her screaming at the top of her lungs. I rushed over to see what was wrong and found her curled up on the floor, shaking. When I asked her what had happened, she glanced at the stall door. I opened it and was horrified to see a rotting body inside. Ants crawled in and out of the toilet, and maggots were wriggling on the corpse. The sight was disturbing, but the smell was even worse. Just then, we heard the door unlock, and a police officer walked in. We didn't stop to talk, we bolted outside. After explaining everything to him, the body was removed, and we were taken home. Since there was no identification on the body, it was buried in an unmarked grave. To this day, I wonder who that person was and why the door locked on us.